Christian says that you've got some special thing planned.
Yeah, it's like a crazy 9-day festival. It only happens every 90 years.
You're gonna love it.
So the project came to me 5 years ago, and I was going through a breakup at the time, and I needed to write something just to sort of deal with the breakup. And I just saw a way to take that like folk horror space and use it as an excuse to like exorcise the demons of the moment for me. In a loose way, Midsommar is something of a companion to Hereditary in that both films are very much about family. And I also feel that both films deal with codependency in a way, although this film goes deeper into that. I see Midsommar as an adult fairy tale more than anything else, and in many ways it's a sort of perverse wish fulfillment fantasy with Dani and her dilemma at the center.
I didn't think that I was going to be working right now, and I was just off the back. I was kind of in the last month or so of a series that I did called Little Drummer Girl, and I was in Greece, and over comes this script, and my agent was like, you have to read this. And I remember I just came home from a night shoot and I read it, and I was amazed by where this film ended. And then pretty swiftly after that, I had a Skype with Ari, and we essentially both said to each other, yeah, we want to do this.
So I first saw Florence Pugh in Lady Macbeth, and I was really taken by that performance. And having seen her play such a composed vault of a person in that film, I was excited by the idea of how she would take on this person who is on unsteady ground and basically a codependent person.
I'm always leaning on him. Like, I even called him today in tears because my sister wrote another stupid, scary email.
That's what he's there for.
We first meet Dani when she's in a very precarious place, both in her family life and in her relationship with Christian. And we meet her on a night that will go on to be the worst night of her life. Then we jump ahead 6 months later. Christian and his friends are planning to go to Sweden. Their mutual friend, Pelle, has invited them to attend a midsummer celebration at Pelle's home village. And Dani is pulled along as sort of the unwanted fifth wheel.
So, Sweden.
Yeah.
You're coming, right?
I mean, I guess so. That's not completely ruining your guys' plans.
Oh, no,
Not at all.
No.
Bless her, Dani is pretty much destroyed by the time that we meet her. She goes through an awful family crisis, and pretty much from the first 5 scenes onwards, she's broken, and this place fixes her.
The tranquil and majestic Horga.
Well, I was actually shooting a TV show in the States at the time, and my team got in touch with me about Ari. The guy has an encyclopedic knowledge of film and is wildly intellectual and just a great person to have a conversation with. So we really hit it off at the very beginning.
You have got to get off the fence with this.
What if I regret it later and I can't get her back?
You don't want her back.
I might.
Christian's been ambivalent about his relationship with Dani for a long time, kind of looking for a way out while also being unwilling to take any sort of productive action.
He's torn about where he stands with this girl who's kind of lost her whole family, and he's kind of like the one consistent person in her life now. And I think that he definitely loves her, but at the same time feels like he needs to move away from her too. And I think that that's revealed as the story goes on.
Christian and Josh are both getting their PhDs in anthropology. Their friend Pelle, who invites them to Hårga, is also getting his PhD in anthropology.
Yeah, they're all coming to visit my home in Hälsingland.
Sweden.
Oh, any occasion, or is it just for fun?
Well, I'm doing my research on European midsummer traditions. These guys are just tagging along.
Josh is the hyper-intellectual anthropology doctorate candidate who is just completely enamored with Northern European midsummer rituals. Coming here and seeing that there's a culture that has been completely untouched by the outside world, and that this is something that I can make my thesis on, this is something that I can make my career on, it becomes my singular focus.
Find your own subject, or your own passion, and because look, I am actually invested in this. This is not some glorified hobby that I'm casually dipping my feet into.
Mark is less academically gifted and far less sort of emotionally mature than the rest of the group. He is blessed with sort of quick wit, and I think rather like the kind of jester or the clown, he sort of pays his way in the group with jokes.
Oh my God, the women here. What is it that makes them hotter?
And offering an alternative perspective on just everything in life. The really encouraging thing I found was that Ari really wanted to bring a sense of authenticity and depth to each character. The last thing he wanted to do was have these characters just be kind of vehicles or vessels for the horror stunts.
It's the midnight sun.
That feels wrong. I don't like that.
Promise you it's okay.
I'm not okay.
Oh, fuck. It's a new person.
What? I don't want new people right now.
No, new people are good, Mark.
Hi. I'm just gonna lay down, okay?
Yeah, do that.
Everybody else lay down. Guys, do it. It feels so nice.
Pelle is on his pilgrimage, which is a part of the Hårga life. And I invite those three guys, Mark, Josh and Christian, to join me. And Christian has a girlfriend called Danny, which I sort of like. And Danny joins, which is perfect. Absolutely perfect.
Lilla
Pelle. When we come here, I get Pelle is like the hero. He's the hero of this story, viewed by the Hårgas. Probably not viewed by the Americans.
No! As a script, it's really incredibly intense and just shocking. And what I really loved was how the most violent moments of it and the most shocking parts are so incredibly visual. And that's what Ari does. He's a really visual storyteller.
The script was so detailed, the smallest of things, the way that he described something as simple as someone taking a drink was so magnificent, and the way he wanted to film it, he said, look, you're going to be dancing with the camera for 2 months. That's how I work. It's choreography. And that's such a beautiful way of summing up filmmaking.
Can I ask what this is exactly?
It's tea for the competition.
Here we go!
We made the film in Hungary, just outside of Budapest, and Hereditary was released on June 8th of 2018, and we were in Hungary on June 9th. I didn't even really have an opportunity to experience the release of Hereditary, which was my first film, because we were already kind of sprinting towards production, and we started shooting at the very top of August.
Och när de väl hade börjat dansa så kunde de inte sluta, utan de dansade sig till döds.
We had a really, fantastic Hungarian crew. Our production designer, Henrik Svensson, who's a really brilliant artist, came with so much, and he was working with an all-Hungarian art department.
Oh, man.
Wow.
I met Ari. I instantly liked the guy as a person, and we did research together. Traveled in Sweden and interviewed people, and then he wrote the script, and overnight the whole thing became something completely different in my mind. We talked a lot. He became eaten by hereditary, so he disappeared for a while. I wanted to show him something, to see if we were on the right track, and we were. I like to work like in circles, so I do everything at the same time a bit, and then I tweak. The very first sketch I did was for the interior of the main house, and it looks pretty much exactly like that now.
We're not in a studio, which is fantastic. It is a bit of a dream, being able to live and work and play and act in this space. And every single building is filled with beautiful things like pots and pans, and we're in the middle of a field right now.
We found this beautiful field that was totally untended, grass that was taller than I was. And we had to manage this field and build 10 buildings. Some of them are 3 stories tall.
And it's been amazing to kind of like settle in here. And it's so rare, you never get to do that. And that was one of the features that Ari was, you know, it was the first thing that he said to me. He was like, we're gonna have a village, and it's gonna be in a field, and it's gonna be ours. I was like, oh my God, that's amazing.
Andrea Flesch did the costumes, and she and her department really had an impossible job on their hands, and I'm so proud of the work that they did. Every single costume has so much stitched into it.
I started to draw for him and research Swedish folk costumes, and I realized that all the folk costumes are very similar in all around the world. So it was really maybe one of the biggest challenges in my life to create these costumes. For creating the Harga village costumes, which are all handmade one by one, and even the shoes are made and the hats embroidered, and even a lot of fabrics are handmade. I only used 100 years old linen fabric.
The costume department have worked for months and months. You know, they've had to dress the actors in these costumes that have been hand painted with runic, you know, designs all specific to the people that they're on. So the work that's gone into it is unbelievable.
And then we have specific costumes in the film. Ari tells me that, okay, Andrea, so you should do a pine tree dress, and it became amazing. Then I had to make specific costumes for Dan and Ilva getting sacrificed. I think all the costumes in the beginning seems like impossible, but then everything is amazing.
Look, the trees too, they're breathing. Nature just knows instinctually how to stay in harmony. Everything just mechanically doing its part. I believe that Hårga is like the next level of humans. They are extremely resourceful with what they have. It's impressive to see these people being so grounded in everything they do. And they have this emotion-based language. They communicate with emotions.
They speak Swedish, but they have their own effect language with different signs and stuff, and they have an alphabet, runes. There's a lot of singing, a lot of dancing, and we've created all this. We've tried to build this community and to feel the collectivism of this cult together, and that's been a real challenge and also a lot of fun.
They really like collectivism, so everyone raises children and no one has their biological parents, and they just want to live in peace with each other and nature and the holiness of nature.
Their bloodline has been very carefully preserved, and this festival, which only happens once every 90 years, is their way of maintaining harmony with nature.
Ulf is happy to be a Horgan. He's a very dedicated Horgan, but he's very sensitive, and this Midsommar week is a very big week for him.
Jävla idiot, bort därifrån!
Hey, whoa.
Bort! Ta bort din äckliga jävla kuk och steg!
What? Okay,
Försvinn
relax.
därifrån nu!
What did I do?
Våra förfäder ligger där!
Ja,
Du står och pissar på mina förfäder! Din lilla amerikanska jävla vän. Stod just och pissar på rotvältan! Vart vill du gå?
And when something disturbs this week, his vision of this week, he gets really, really angry.
Dude, is she gonna kill me?
These visitors, we need them for different reasons. We need them to be here.
The thing about all of the Horga is that they use these Americans to like what they want. And it's the same with Maya, because when you see this film you might think that she's just in love with him, but in reality she's just using him to get what she wants, and what she wants is a baby.
Just the slightest bit clockwise. I'm sorry, dude. Thank you.
Is this more trajectory?
Yeah, it's like you want your body to be like facing
in line with
facing
that.
them exactly.
Okay.
I just love watching Ari from afar when he's working, and he just runs around everywhere, so intense, talking to the camera department, extras, actors, and he really knows what he wants. I mean, he's so thorough.
He's meticulous. I mean, he knows exactly what he wants. It's very specific. So, like, when you get there, you're there.
I mean, you can see that he's got a lot going on in his head, you know what I mean? And he's juggling a lot of different elements. But he's very inclusive and collaborative in terms of working with the actors, you know? Obviously, like, with the ambitiousness of what he's doing and the way he's visualizing it in his head, he's got to have a shorthand with his DP so that they can kind of achieve some of these shots. It's an intense environment, but it's a rewarding one, and I think that everything we're getting is really great.
Pavel Pogorzelski is my cinematographer, and I've been working with him since AFI, and we just have this great shorthand. And Pav was on Hereditary as well, and he's done everything of mine.
It's amazing. You know, I think visually he's got an incredibly sort of already realized intention in mind when he steps on set. He knows exactly what the frame should look like and your position in it. And that's quite interesting because each scene comes with a sort of a set of kind of choreography almost. But it does mean that some of your physical decisions are kind of made for you. So that's an adaptation that you have to make, and it's actually been a really kind of fun aspect of the challenge.
Maten är klar. Det är dags för mat.
We had a massive maypole. I had the help of Anna Vanuk, who's a really brilliant Swedish choreographer, and I really couldn't have done this without her. We had 2 days to shoot what is, in effect, like a 15-minute dance sequence, and, you know, with very intricate choreography. Not just for the dancers and the actors, but also for the camera.
So we've been doing it for about 2 days now, and the maypole scene is a massive part of, I suppose, Danny's trajectory towards the end of the film. And they've been dancing throughout the whole film so far, the women, and I've never been able to be a part of it. And today and yesterday, I got the privilege of dancing with them, and it's such a wonderful feeling when everything is going. I think also what's worth mentioning is, like, as I said earlier, you are dancing with the camera, even when you're not dancing. You are moving around and you have a relationship with the camera all the time. That's how Ari works. Everything is planned and everything is smooth, and you go again until you get it right. So the scenes that we've been doing yesterday and today are so difficult, so complex, and the girls are amazing, and we've done it. And, you know, we're spinning in circles with the camera hurtling the other way. It's hard.
We were working in, like, blistering heat. I think it was the hottest summer on record in Hungary. We had to shoot a big feast scene with food that was rotting in the sun. I remember that the actors called me over at one point because there was a big pig's head that was just covered in maggots. So the actors were forced to, like, you know, sit with this, like, rotting food for 2 days.
What's going on?
These guys who make the prosthetics, they're so amazing. This is the first time I landed at the airport, and they drove me straight to this prosthetics place. And I come in and they say, oh, sit down. Yep, oh, here's the head, the skin, and I put that on, and you see through the eyes someone else's face on me. Oh my God. It wasn't even finished. I'm looking forward to seeing it now. It's been lying there. They've been working on it for over a month. I'm looking forward to meeting my skin, or Mark's skin.
Every now and again I get to go back in the village and just watch everyone work, and everyone's just amazing. And so it's you know, I just respect all of their work so much, and also we just hang out a lot. We're here in a place far from home, and we sort of just latch on to each other, and so it's been really easy to sort of form this bond and sort of this ensemble energy.
To be honest, you know, the acting challenge provided by me playing Jack Rayner's best friend is about zero. I love the dude, so that's been, you know, great. It's our third film together, and it was really nice going into this and having that, you know, very organic and real friendship already in place. But since being part of the project, I've had an opportunity to meet some amazing people, and have grown really, really close with the entire cast. We've
get that it's horror. I think that's the main thing, and Ari is really adamant that he wants it to be a breakup film. I think we want to make it seem that we are complex, and it doesn't necessarily mean that, you know, Hauger style of living makes it simpler, but it certainly makes it prettier.
Yeah, I think Ari's a master of creating suspense and also allowing things to play out subtly. He's got no interest in telegraphing things and, you know, sticking neon and giant arrow signs around plot points or character traits. I think it's quite gratifying for audience members to discover these things themselves, and, you know, I would implore everyone to watch, you know, the film with real attention and attention to detail, because it's, as I said before, so layered and so textured. There's a lot to unpack in this film.
So we're just going to ignore the bed?
It's a bear.
I hope that the film ends on a note that is hard to contend with, and something that you kind of have to sit with, because we do end on a note of big catharsis, but I hope that the catharsis feels a little bit wrong. And so I feel that by the end, I guess I hope that people will feel moved and unsettled and confused.